Hi gang, so in this video I'm going to be doing a dupe of the Kaleidos makeup, the Escape Pod palette. And if you can hear a little bit of white noise in the background, that's just my fan going on. It's pretty hot today. Okay, so this is the kind of duped palette that I came up with. There's one shade here that is in a palette that I have not depotted, so I will show that to you a little bit later. I will do some swatches and tell you exactly where these shades come from at the end of the video, and I will also leave a timestamp for you to skip ahead to that part if you're interested in that. But I've decided to do two looks in this video. One is a Instagram inspired look, and the other will be an eyeshadow look that I come up with organically on the spot. Okay, so the first look is inspired by a picture posted by calebdoesmakeup. He seems to be into very whimsical, very fantasy. It's very beautiful. I like his looks. I don't think I can replicate this specific look down to the very last detail, but I will try my best to recreate it. So I primed my eyes with the Urban Decay Eden eyeshadow primer, and yeah, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to try. I've also arranged it in the manner in which the palette should be in. So I'm taking this shade right here. Yeah, let's just do it. I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know. Let's put it on my eye. He also has a very different eye shape than I do. It's not gonna be exactly the same. For one thing, I don't have white eyelashes. Also, he has like kind of like a more deep set eye. Mine is just like I just have a double lid, and the lid is not like, you know, like it goes into the socket kind of thing. So let me try to deepen up the crease area with the shade. This shade in particular, I think this is the shade that he uses. Also, he's a lot fairer than I am, so the shades are showing up a lot different on his particular skin tone. I don't know what to do. Help! Maybe if I mix this a little bit with this, maybe it'll darken it up a little bit. I hope it doesn't ruin everything. Okay, I'm gonna take this shade again and try to go in a little bit like this, like in the outer third of my eye area. Okay, I think I'm gonna mix those shades again. This one, this deeper purple, and this kind of like more pinky purple, because I think that gives me more of the depth that I see on his eye. Hopefully. This is gonna be tragic, isn't it? I thought it was a brilliant idea. Let's look for a picture that I like and let's try to recreate it. Unfortunately, these people have much better skills than I do. I'm gonna take this shade right here. This is kind of like a duochrome. It shifts from blue to kind of like purple. And I'm gonna put that in the corner of the eye. Okay, so I'm just gonna put it on like that and see how that goes. Okay, that's not too bad. It's kind of pretty. It's not showing much on camera. Maybe I need to spray it with the spray. Oh, I just sprayed it in the different direction. Genius. So in the middle of the lid, he has this orangey shade, but that particular shade is in this palette. This is the graceful JACLYN to something or other palette, JACLYN Hill palette volume 2 MORPHE palette thing. Okay, this one, this shade right here is what I found to be the a similar shade. It looks so pretty on him, but it's not looking that pretty on me. Because his skin tone is very pale, or fair, and on him it looks more like an ethereal fairy. And on me, it looked like it got punched in the eye. A little bit. Maybe. Let's just push through it. I'm going to try to get this shade, this very pale beige shade, and I'm gonna try to diffuse the edges of this line. I'm gonna mix it in with that purple shade right here, kind of to create more of like a, I don't know, color congruous blend. Maybe this particular shade isn't kind of translating very well on my skin tone. Okay, let me see if I can find a shade from the Norvina palette. I think this particular shade might translate a bit more like it's translating on the picture. Yeah, actually that's a little bit better than what I had here. So if you can just look at the both shades next to each other, this one looks a lot more grayish than this one. This is more pink, and yeah, maybe it's because my undertones are very different from his, so that's probably why I've had so much of a problem getting it to look similar. So this dual shift kind of shade, it is very pretty, but it has a very transparent base. I think this one will be a lot more potent. Yeah, that is definitely better. You can definitely see this color much better. Okay, I'm gonna try to blend. Okay, so I'm back. I decided not to put on false lashes. So I put on some mascara. I did use a little bit of eyeliner. I used the shade Deliciously Rich by MAC. This is the gel liner. And I also used the shade, goodness gracious me, I am all over the place today. Overdramattic from Milani. And this is their metallic lip cream. One thing about this is a bit drying, but I do really like the effect on my lips. That's so pretty. Isn't that pretty? It's definitely not exactly the same as the picture, but I do think it has the same kind of vibe. I think the shimmer in the inner corner really takes it to another level, and I usually put shimmer in the middle of my eye, but this time I didn't, and I still really like it. So this is so cool. I'm very glad that I tried out this look, because it's definitely not a shape nor a kind of placement of where I usually do my would put my eyeshadow, but it came out really pretty. So thank you, Caleb Does Makeup, for this for inspiring me with your picture. So I'm going to take this off and do another look. Okay, So this is the second look. I've already primed my eyes with the Eden primer again, and this time I think I'm going to go into the more green shades. I think I'm going to take this dark kind of gray brown matte shade, and we'll start from there and see where we go. I'm gonna take this this darker olive shimmer shade, and I'm gonna pack that in the inner corner of the eye, spray it just a little bit, and then okay, for the middle of the eye, I think I'm gonna take this gold shade. Alternatively, this gold could be this gold as well. I think I want to use this one because this is a lot more iridescent. Yeah. I'm gonna pop that in the middle of the eye. Oh hell. So this is not going to look as similar as the gold in the palette, because the gold in the palette, I believe, has some sort of pink shift to it, and this one does not. There we go. This one right here. And I'm gonna put that on top. Hopefully. Okay, I don't know if that actually worked. It looks a bit silver now. Okay. I'm gonna try this one, this shade right here. That's a little bit more of what I wanted. But now that it's like on top of different stuff, I don't know if it's looking gold at all. It's just looking kind of pink. Kind of tapping it down with that leftover gold that is on the brush. I think I'm gonna take this shade right here and put that in the inner corner of the eye. I'm gonna take that orange shade, that bright orange shade, and I'm going to put it on the bottom lash line, kind of like a little bit further out. Take it maybe like 2/3 of the way in. And I'm gonna take that brown shade right here and kind of deepen up just right under the lash line. I'm gonna take that lighter green shade right here. I'm gonna spray it, gonna take it on my brush, spray it, and then put that in the inner corner. Ooh, that is pretty. Oh my. Okay, this shade is stunning. Okay, I'm gonna take that gray shade that we had earlier and kind of like cat the edge of this middle section, whatever that means. Because prior to this, I didn't actually bring it all the way in. Okay, I want to intensify this green. Let me finish up the whatchamacallit, and I'll be back. Okay, so this is the second look. Again, I reapplied my mascara, and I kind of added a little bit more of a orangey tone on top of the existing blush that I had, which was kind of more pinky toned. I used the shade Madly in Love by Milani. This is also another metallic lip cream. I haven't used these for a while, and I'm really starting to get back into them because I think they're so pretty. Yeah, I actually really like this look. It's pretty fun. So now we'll get into the swatches. So this is the duped palette. There's one shade that's missing in the middle, and that one is from a palette that I have not depotted. So that's why. The first shade is from Lethal Cosmetics, and this shade is called Release. And like you saw in the video, it didn't translate on my eye the way I thought it would. So this is the shade Release from Lethal Cosmetics. There's the swatch, and alternatively I have the shade Soul from the first Norvina palette from ABH, and here is the swatch of that shade. That shade is, yeah. So the next shade up we have is actually from the Pinky Rose Exotic Peacock palette. There you go. This pink shade is from the Editorial Brights Viseart palette, and they don't have names. There we go. This next shade is also from the Viseart Editorial Brights palette. Show you right there. That's that orange shade. Next up, we also have a shade from the Exotic Peacock palette from Pinky Rose Cosmetics. There you go. Okay, so for the next shade, I have two different options. I mean, they're definitely not exactly the same, and they're also not that similar to that gold shade from the Kaleidos palette, because that one has kind of like a pink shift to it, and these are just two of my golds that I had. So this one is from, this one is called Magic Act from Makeup Geek. This is a single. And the second one is the shade from Natasha Denona, the gold palette. The shade is CAVA 198K. So there you go. Those are the two that I kind of thought might be a little bit similar. Okay, so I just realized it was really stupid for me to swatch each one and record the entire process, but I've decided to swatch them all on my hand. And so this shade up here is, whoopsie daisy, this one right here is the shade from the Viseart Coy Palette, and that's that one right there. This second one that you see here, I've actually swatched two different shades. This area, whoopsie daisy, I'm not doing a good job, am I? This area right here is the shade Boom Boom Room. It's a MAC Dazzleshadow. I think this is discontinued, but the other shade right here, which is actually the shade that looked a lot more pigmented on my eyes with the blue base, this is the shade Charmed from Looxi Beauty, and this is a single eyeshadow shade from the indie brand Looxi Beauty. This shade right below it is from the Viseart Bijoux Royale palette, and this beautiful green shade, it's stunning, isn't it? This one is from the Coy Palette from Viseart. And this shade down here, the darker olive green shade, is called Jester, and this is a foiled eyeshadow from Makeup Geek. It's a single shadow. And this this grayish kind of brown shade, I don't know if you can see that. This one is a shade from the Alien palette from Jeffree Star, and the shade is called X-Files. As you can see, there's the little alien head right there. Next up is just a plain matte cream shade. I think this one is pretty easy to dupe. This is the matte cream shade from the Hashtag palette from Violet Voss. And next up, this shade I could only find in a separate palette, and that is from the JACLYN Hill Volume 2. This is the shade that I used, Positivity. And tea is with, it's the tea, the drinking tea? Yeah, that tea. Okay, the last one we have is a dark brown shade. I'm not sure if this is exactly similar to the shade in the Escape Pod, but there are plenty of dark browns I think most people have in their palettes. This one is just from the Warm Matte Viseart palette. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Those are the swatches. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed doing it. I think it's really fun when you experiment and you find something that you like that you never expected you would. I'll link Caleb Does Makeup's Instagram page down below, and yeah, check him out if you're interested to see more from him. So that's it from me, and ciao for now.